Good afternoon, everyone. Again, we just want to trust the Lord and thank Him again for the opportunity that He gives us this day and this season. It's been a season there that to glorify God there in a great way. I just want to acknowledge, obviously, this ball game here is very exciting and thrilling. Playing Coastal Carolina here at home. I want to first recognize here our seniors. We're going to have 17 seniors that are going to get recognized here this ball game that I'm very, very proud of. I'm very thankful for God to let me be a part of their lives, both on the field and off the field, and being a father, being a friend, being a counselor, and proud of what they've all have accomplished. We have 5 of them that have already graduated, already going into this semester, and then really all the rest of them, some going to graduate here in the fall. And then the rest of them going to have really minimum classes to take in the spring. So all 17 should be and will be able to graduate there by the spring of this next year. Some of the things that they've accomplished, some historical things that they have accomplished here from a football side of it. They've won 3 games against the top 10 teams. They've won 2 games against 2 FBS teams. And, of course, historically the first to ever make the playoffs and being a part of that, first to win a game in the playoffs. So this senior class is a very, very special class that's going to go down in history as far as being a part of some historical things that have helped to bring Liberty's football program with some national prominence as far as the things that have been accomplished. Again, a lot of them have had a lot of great opportunities of almost 100 hours as far as being in community service. We've had many people who have accepted Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. We can go on and on about what this senior class is doing and has done and what they're going to do. The positive also going into this game here, our team is very thrilled to be playing Coastal Carolina, being a rivalry team here, playing on Thursday night, having an opportunity to showcase our fans. And I know our fans are really the best fans in the country. Also, our game day experience is the best in the country in the FCS football level. So we got a great opportunity to show the country what FCS football fans are all about, and really even just fans of football fans in general, whether you're FCS, whether you're FBS, our student body and all of our fans are being really in tune to the game throughout the whole process. So I know we're excited. Our players are excited for this opportunity. We're excited to have a great opportunity to finish up the season in a great way. Coastal Carolina, Joe Mowgli, their head football coach, obviously he's done a fantastic job there. They've been done well in the 3 to 4 years he's been there, been in the tops in the country, and they've had another good football season. Offensively, Alex Ross, he's their quarterback. Obviously, he does a great job of distributing the ball whenever he needs to run. He's very efficient in doing that. But also, I think the big catalyst this year, along with Alex Ross, is D'Angelo Henderson. I think he is, no question, is the best running back we're going to face this year by his skill set. Powerful, quick, good agility, can run through tackles, has good enough speed to outrun you. He doesn't have the great speed, but he can make things happen for him in their game plan. Defensively, they're a 4-man front. They have been pretty good for the most part of keeping people out of the end zone. But the other side of it is they've also have averaged of over 400 yards of total offense, where offenses have gained against them. So people have been able to move the ball. People have been able to score on them. If I kind of look at some of the teams that have played them pretty close, I think a common denominator there is why people have been able to be close in the ball game. They've averaged over 150 yards rushing. Some of them have been over 200 yards rushing. But the common thing is the people who have been within 7 points or so as far as in their games, they all have been at least 150 yards of rushing there in that situation. The injury report, Austin Kagler is out, upper body injury. Irwin DeSources is out. I guess as we speak, going to have surgery here this afternoon, and he's out. And Will Johnson, he is probable for the game. 2 or 3 things, the keys to the game. I think one of the big things here for us to have a great chance to win. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it's no question if we're able to gain more than 150 yards rushing total in the game, I think that gives us a great chance to be able to be very successful in being able to win the game. I think a couple other things here. I think we win the special teams. We cannot have anything negative in the special teams. We must win the field position. We must have good returns. We must have good protection for order for us to be successful. And the last thing is third down conversion. I've seen all the stats too, where again third down conversions. The teams that have been close to them, they've been very good on third down conversion. They've been okay on third down conversion. So just like any game, you got to be good on first downs, but ultimately you do have to convert on third down. Open up to questions.
Coach Gill, first of all, I do appreciate your time this afternoon. It's a two-part question. Number one, just talk a little bit more about the rivalry between Liberty and Coastal Carolina, and two, talk about the fact this is the first nationally televised game in the history of the Liberty program. That's got to be big on both ends.
Well, yeah, I think first the coastal rivalry. I think a rivalry is when you have two good football teams. They're very competitive. They are challenging up for the conference championships. I think it's about 12, 13 times that we played each other. I think it's 6-6 right now with 12 games been played, and so I think that speaks for itself. There's talented players. There's usually talented quarterbacks. There's talented running backs. There's usually some talented defensive players, but I think you see that when you talk about Coastal, when you talk about Liberty University, there's talented players, and I'm talking about national talented players on the football team there. Being on national television, I think this is very thrilling, very exciting for our whole university, the Big South Conference, NCAA football. I think it's just a great opportunity for us to show everybody in the country what our football program is all about, what our university is all about, what Liberty University stands for. Obviously, we're training champions for Christ, and we're doing it the right way according to God. And we aim to be very, very competitive in football. We're very competitive in really all sports. So we're going to get a chance to showcase that to the country.
Is that kind of how you present it to your team from the rivalry aspect of it, and then also, just trying to finish up with a winning season?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, number one is we got to try to improve from what we have in the last 10 ball games. So we always talk about every game trying to improve. And then, two, you want to make sure that you end on a good note. You want to make sure you have an opportunity to win your last ball game that you're going to play for the seniors, for yourself, and for the program as we move forward. Obviously, now you even have a greater stage to do that as far as, again, beating the team here in the top 10. So there's a lot of multiple things that can happen as far as winning this football game can put our program in the right way.
Coach, 2 years ago, a fake punt changed the game around here back in 2013. They scored on a fake field goal against PC this year. How many other trickeration plays have you seen them on film this year?
They've run this 2-point play, or whenever they score a touchdown, they can sometimes show where they can just go for 2 points. And they've done it not necessarily in every ball game, but 2 or 3 games where they have done that. So we got to be always on alert once they score. We got to be ready to go and get lined up. If you don't get lined up, they're going to go ahead and run the ball or throw the ball in their field goal opportunity. So they always have something in the repertoire. They would take advantage of it if you're not prepared. So we got to make sure that we're prepared for it, and we're going to go over that continually as we continue to prepare for that.
Coach, are you sorry to see this Coastal Carolina rivalry come to an end?
I hadn't even thought about it a whole lot, to be honest with you. They're trying to get ready for this ball game here. I think, for FCS football, I think it's a good thing here in the East area here to see the very competitive teams. And it's great now to see a national televised game and get a chance to see the country, get a chance to recognize these programs. I think right now I'm so focused on trying to beat them, I'll worry about that here in the next year or so as far as the not playing them again.
Does that kind of add to the motivation as well? I mean, the last time that they're going to come in here to this stadium, wanting to potentially not ruin their season, but maybe send them out on a bad note, and then also maybe alter their playoff status a little bit.
It's more about us, whatever happens. We're trying to win a football game, and it's more about what's positive for us, and that is winning the game, having a winning record, playing in front of our home crowd, stay undefeated as far as this season here, being 5-0 in our home games. And then just ending on a good note as far as going for the next season. That's always a good thing as far as winning your last football game going into the spring football, going into winter workouts. So we got a lot of things here to be a positive for us more than a negative for them.
With Irwin's injury, the surgery being out, how much of an impact does that have, especially with the way he had been playing in the recent weeks leading up to the injury? He really seemed to come into his own and been making more plays opposite Chima.
Yeah, it hurts. Irwin's a very good football player, an experienced football player. Has played a lot of football, and I thought Jawan Wells, which will be the guy that's going to replace him, a true freshman, played well against Charleston Southern. He's played well all year long. I think it's more about hurting us depth-wise, probably more than anything, and a little bit of experience for that goes. But again, we anticipate Jawan Wells to do his thing, and we'll be ready to play.
Coach, with the game being nationally televised, does it have any more meaning or significance when it comes to recruiting?
Well, I think recruiting definitely, across the country, people now can recognize it and see it. We talk about it to some people across the country as far as what we all about, what we stand for, but now they get a chance to see a game day experience and see how good we have it here as far as our fans are so into it, our student body and everybody involved. I think it's going to be a plus. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. I think it's going to draw more attention for us to have an opportunity to get on more people because of being televised. I think you see that all across the country as far as people being on TV. It can always change, 2 or 3 guys, and that 2 or 3 people can make a difference in your recruiting class.
In the last 2 years, I think Alan kind of alluded to special teams, you did as well, but the last two meetings I think have been decided on block kicks. I mean, is that another reason why you're adamant about the special teams?
Well, I've been adamant about it all year long. No matter who the opponent is, always about us trying to make sure we're all good on it. I think that we need to continue to make sure we got our eyes on the right places on a defensive perspective. Because if you're not paying attention to details, that's when people take advantage of it. As far as us executing ourselves on the offensive side of it, as far as your field goals, kickoff return, punt return, we just got to do our job and handle the ball. I think we have good people back there to make some things happen. I'm expecting us to hopefully can get some good returns and put us in great field position. And then we got to take care of ourselves as far as on the other phases.
Coach Gill, next year you guys play Virginia Tech down in Blacksburg, and you won't be coaching against Coach Beamer. This is last year. Just give me your thoughts and feelings about Coach Frank Beamer and, any time you've ever interacted with him.
I have not had any real close interaction with him of anything of that nature as far as a conversation or just a token high sort of thing. I truly respect him on what he's done in college football. I know he's a person that is teaching and developing young men, preparing them for our society so that we can have a better society through the game of football. And so I appreciate him for what he has done, what he's going to continue to do. Obviously, he may not be on the football field coaching, but I know he's still going to have impact in young men's lives. And I appreciate him for that and helping me to get to where I'm at today because of the way he's exemplified himself as a football coach.
Coach, with the playoffs pretty much out the picture right now, is there any thought going into this week, maybe playing some of the younger players, kind of in preparation for next season, kind of see what they have?
No. I mean, if we play a younger player, it'll be because he's the next guy up in line as far as on the depth chart. But we're going to do whatever we take to try to win the football game. If it has to play a young guy, we will, but it's not going to be in preparation for next season. But it's just strictly by depth chart. If he's the next guy up, we'll play.
What kind of feeling do you get from the seniors as far as the importance of this game going out, with a win, their final game in a Liberty uniform?
Well, I think, you probably got mixed emotions. I have not talked to every single one of them, 1 or 2 people that are seniors as far as that goes. But I'm speaking a little bit from many years being a head coach and then also been experiencing my own self. There's probably 2 different types of emotions. One, a little bit of sadness, and then another excitement that you get this opportunity to play your last game in front of your home crowd and get a chance to play your last football game here in college, and you're excited to do that. And then there will be a short period of time, maybe doing the warm-ups or the night before, that you're kind of sad about it, that I can't believe that it's over, that I'm not going to put on this Liberty uniform anymore. So those are kind of the 2 types of emotions that go on there. But again, then once you blow the whistle, you kind of forget about all those things until the end of the game.
What's will quarterback play decide this game? I mean, you have basically two of the best quarterbacks in the league playing here, and then also second part of that, can you grade Josh's performance from last week?
I think both quarterbacks in this game is going to be instrumental. There's going to probably be, again, never know how many plays, but you say 2 to 3 plays or throws that both quarterbacks are going to make, that they may make them and it's a completion, or they going to make them and they're not completions, can make a difference in the ball game. So there's going to be some throws in a situation where somebody's going to make that throw and going to help their team, and it might be the other way too. They may make a throw that may not have team. But I know sometimes a quarterback makes a throw and it's not his fault, but I know it's going to come off that it may come off if it's an interception or something of that nature as far as that goes. So I think it's going to be instrumental as far as those guys there. Follow up on your second part of it.
Josh's performance last week, graded performance.
Last week, as I graded and looked at it all there, he threw the ball well. There was probably, I think I had 3 or 4 throws were off location, but overall I think it was, I want to say 38 that I had down there that he threw, that 3 throws that I said that was off location wise there. Otherwise, he was on target on some things of that nature. So I thought he had a solid game, a very good game. Again, we got to make 1 or 2 more plays in there to make, and some of it was running the ball, and some of it was actually in receivers catching the ball and running the proper routes.
With it being a short week, how much does that affect the schedule this week? And then also, is it advantageous being at home, obviously more advantageous with a shorter week?
What we did is Sunday, we did practice when we got back here on Sunday. We usually practice the day after a game anyway. We just went a little bit longer than usual than we normally do. We did not have a day off before the game because we only had 5 days, so we practiced on Monday. We had a Sunday night, and then we had a Monday night, and then today here we're going to have a Tuesday afternoon practice, and then Wednesday we'll have just a little bit of a walkthrough as far as that goes. So this is pretty much normal. On the back end, it's about the same. We always have a walkthrough the day before the game. Just the only difference is that they're not going to have a day off as far as preparation time.
Coach, offensive line-wise, you said they didn't block well Saturday against Charleston Southern to get the running game going, 2.4 yards to carry. Is there something that you guys have seen with yourself or Coach Wagner that really pushing them to, finish out the season strong and have another 100-yard game?
Well, I think number one, we're trying to find what's the right scheme that fits against Coastal Carolina, and then do we have some matchup advantageous things that we may have. I'm saying, like, an example, our tackle can handle their DN, or our guard can handle their D tackles, or center, or whatever, seeing if there's a certain matchup that we really like. And then it's just a matter now trying to have our 5 guys plus our tight end to be working together on things of that nature, to making sure that we be positive and trying to eliminate negative plays, tackle for losses. And some things are really even in our own power. When I say that, I'm talking about offsides, those kind of things where we got legal procedure, where we got motion. That's something that we can control. So we really continue to trying to emphasize that. Then we're just trying to say our guys here to stay on their blocks a little bit longer.
Man, this week was definitely a hard loss for us. We had played, so good for most of the game, and then that really came down to, if we won that game, we were, gonna play Coastal for hopefully a playoff bid. So, now we're playing more for, a win, senior night, a winning record, that sort of thing. So, obviously it's devastating to our team, but we're such a close group of guys that we really want to help send the senior class out on a winning note, because a lot of these guys are probably not going to play football ever again. So, so it's really sad when you think about some of these guys you've been playing with for 4 or 5 years, and maybe it hasn't hit them yet or not, but the relationships that you build throughout a career, you're never going to forget, and you're going to have those for as long as you live. So we want to do our best we can this Thursday to hopefully send us out on a positive note. And then just going into the Coastal Week, we're excited. We haven't been down this week. We haven't been acting like the season is over and we shouldn't even come out to play or anything like that. That hasn't been the attitude at all. It's been more of a we get to play Coastal last game of the season on TV, and for senior night. That's sort of been the whole sort of attitude this entire week. So I love where our guys are at. I love how they've responded from essentially knowing that we're not going to make the playoffs now. We're excited to just go out with a bang.
With this game being for, you guys are 5-5 coming in. I mean, programs have winning records every year for a long time. Is that some extra motivation there as well?
Yeah, I would say extra motivation. I wouldn't say it's any pressure or anything. We've had some key injuries this year that have kind of hurt us a little bit, but more so than ever, this has just been a season that we haven't executed as well as we wanted to, and there's been times in games where we've needed players or myself to make big plays, and we just don't end up making them. So this has just been a season that we haven't been executing very well. So we're hoping to just come out on Thursday and execute at an extremely high rate and just send these seniors out with a bang.
Josh, first of all, I do appreciate your time this afternoon. I'll ask you the same question I asked Coach Gill, a two-parter. Number one, just your feeling about the rivalry between Liberty and Coastal Carolina, and two, the fact that first time in program history you have a nationally televised game. Just talk about those aspects.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, Coastal's been our rival for the better part of 5 years now, so we're really excited that it's going to be the last game of the season. I know a lot of it's been earlier in the season, and sort of the anticipation and the hype has been right in the middle of the season these past couple years. So we were excited, going into the season, knowing that we were having Coastal as the last game of the season, and then bumping it up to television. That made us even more excited. Obviously, we would have liked to have it more of a top 10 team in the nation type build up, and then this game was whoever won the Big South. But Charleston Southern had a great season. Ended up winning the Big South, so hats off to them. But we'd obviously like to change the way that stuff's happened this season, but we couldn't ask for anything more this Thursday. It's going to be a night game on TV, senior night. It's going to be fun.
Josh, how emotional will this game be for you?
Really emotional. I mean, there's guys on this team that I've been playing with for 4 years now, and odds are I'm never going to get to play with them again. Hopefully, I can extend my career onto the next level, and I don't know what the future holds for any of these other guys. So it's been a long ride, and a lot of relationships that I've built into more than just being a teammate. We're real friends with a lot of these guys. So it's definitely going to be emotional. I think I'll probably get a little teared up when I walk out there with my parents, and then definitely after the game when it sort of settles in that I'll never play on this field again. But I'm just looking forward to it. This year hasn't exactly gone the way we wanted it to, so we're looking to end it on a high note and just send the seniors off with a good feeling.
What have the last 2 years done for this program? Just the high of last year making the playoffs, and then, like you said, this year not meeting expectations. What do you learn, or what do you take away or impart to these younger players, so that way they can find a way to balance things, and when you have expectations, they can meet those instead of having the expectations fall short?
Yeah, absolutely. I think last year, we were finally able to break through into the playoffs, and I think that was big for our program, is that we were able to get some national exposure as far as, we weren't just, a little team from the Big South. We were good. We ended up making the playoffs and beat a JMU team that a lot of people thought was going to be, one of the front runners to do some damage in the playoffs. So that was great for our school and our team, just having confidence going into this season. Obviously, we've had some shortcomings, and stuff has fallen short for us in this season. But we'd obviously like to have some more wins and whatnot. But I hope the future teams look and take from this team that they saw the talent that we had, and they saw the coaching we had, and they saw how at certain points we didn't play as a unit, as a full unit, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. We missed opportunities that we shouldn't have if we would have just all played together. And I hope they see that, and this class and this senior class motivates them to never want to do that again. So I'm not going to look at it as a negative way at all. I think when you're given an opportunity to influence someone, whether it's a player or a coach or someone from the outside, if you're given an opportunity to influence them, you should find the best way to influence them in a positive way, not so much a negative. I hope that people don't see this class as a bust, but more so, this is the team that we look back at and we've improved on from them.
Given that this is also the last time Coastal Carolina, for the foreseeable future, is going to be playing in the stadium, how much, I don't want to say extra motivation, but again, how much do you want to beat these guys?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's rivalry week. You always want to beat your rival, but that was kind of the same deal with Stony Brook when we played them as my freshman. We knew they were probably not going to be in the Big South the year after that, so we kind of sent them away with a bang. So we're excited. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it because it's just another game. Obviously, it has some more implications, whether it's Coastal because it's a rival and it's on TV, but it's no hard feelings against them. We want to send them out with a loss because they're left our conference. It's nothing like that. We want to win because we want to win the football game, and we're excited just to have the exposure of TV and being on a Thursday night game.
Josh, you've been in for 5 years and gone through a lot in those 5 years, coming in on Coach Rocco, then going through the coaching change, football announced intentions to move FBS, making the playoffs. What are some of your top memories you'll take from the last 5 years?
Oh, man. I think probably the biggest one that I personally remember was after my sophomore year when we had beaten Charleston Southern. If they would have won, they would have went to the playoffs, and we ended up winning to make it a three-way tie. Coastal ended up going, but that stuck in my mind and stuck in the juniors that were going to be seniors for the next year. To me, that was one of the biggest memories that I'm going to have because I feel like that really propelled us into last season. We were able to be mentally tough enough to finish those close games, and because that year we didn't finish some close games when we needed to, and the following year when Jacob Hagan and Nico Davis, when they were seniors, we were able to finish those games and then make the playoffs and then finally push through that threshold that we were always looking to do. So that's one of the biggest memories. And then obviously the playoff win. I mean, that's something that no one can ever take from this senior class. We were part of a team that made history at Liberty, and I know we didn't have the season that we always dreamed of, and we had national championship implications this season, but no one can ever take from us what we did last year. And I don't have any regrets. Obviously, we want to win more, and we wanted to go to the playoffs and win the Big South and all that stuff. But stuff in life happens the way it does, but those are probably two of the biggest moments in history that I'll remember.
Changing gears back to this game, you weren't very happy with the way the running game got going against Charleston Southern, and it's been like that for most of the year. Coastal Carolina has given up some yards on the ground. Is there a way that you've seen on film and preparation that you feel like you can get the running game going, get more balance, get back into play action passing, and really try to open things up?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the story of our offense this season. Last year we were able to run the ball really well, so our play action game was really, really efficient. This year, we haven't had much of a run game, so we've had to rely on the quick passes and the short passes as part of the running game. So hopefully, I know we'll have a good game plan ready. We've practiced these past 2 days, so I know we'll have some good plays. The thing is, we just have to go out there and execute. We have to have all 5 of our linemen executing at an extremely high rate, the tight end, the fullback, the running back. We have to have all those guys executing at a really high rate to be able to run the ball well. And I think we will this week. I think, we started getting it going in Georgia State, and then we kind of, sort of fell off. But I have a good feeling about this game plan. I think we're going to do really well with that. Hopefully we can get the run game going like we talked about, and then the play action shots will come too.
I don't want to make this you versus Alex Ross, but, I mean, you two guys have been kind of the better quarterbacks in the league over the last couple of years. Do you like the element of competing against him, so to speak, I guess, and how important is quarterback play in this game?
Well, I think there's so many different factors that go into it. It's not me versus him at all because my defense is different from his defense. His offensive coordinator is different from my offensive coordinator. His receivers are different from mine. So obviously you like to outshine the other person you're playing, but there are so many different factors that go into it. You can't just assume that whoever has a better game is the better quarterback, or whoever has a worse game is a worse quarterback. I don't think that's necessarily exactly what happens in games. And you look at some of these teams that play in the NFL too. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, when they played the Broncos, and Aaron Rodgers is probably playing at a higher rate than Peyton Manning is this year, but Peyton Manning played way better in that game. Is it the defense? Is it the offensive coordinator? What is it that separates those two quarterbacks? But obviously, like you said, we've been two of the better quarterbacks in this league, but being a competitor, you want to do better than the other guy, but there's so many different factors in that you can't exactly, put a quarterback versus a quarterback. Because like I said, you have defenses, you have, the guys on your own team, you have the coordinators. So, yeah, I'm excited about it, but it's not going to be me versus him. It's going to be Liberty versus Coastal Carolina, and hopefully we come out with the win.
Josh, with this being a national TV game Thursday night, do you look at this as one last chance for you and the senior class to make a statement as far as for Liberty University on the national stage?
Absolutely. I think, at the beginning of the season, we had a big statement, beating Montana and, having a lot of exposure as far as the national spotlight. And obviously the season didn't go as well as we wanted it to, but this is just a great opportunity for us to, really represent Liberty in a great way. Come out, have a great day on senior day, send the seniors off with one last hurrah. I know I've been with these guys for 4 or 5 years, and I feel their pain when they're upset about losses. And I want to win specifically so that they can win too. So I think that would be great for us just as a unit to go out there, don't have any regrets. Everyone plays a unit, offense, defense, special teams. All of us just have a complete game this Thursday and just come out with a win.